What up, fam? Hit that like, hit that subscribe. This is Agree to Disagree, and we're going to let you know when Joel Embiid is returning. Let's go.
Uncle Sweeps, Nick Delgado, the legendary Brian Wilson, and the fucking man himself, Tom Arnone. These three guys from Jersey bringing you real talk with no agenda. You don't like them? Tough shit. It's their show, and they're going to say whatever the hell they goddamn want.
Welcome in, everybody. This is Agree to Disagree, only on A2D Radio. Every Sunday, we are brought to you by our doc. Got to make them yours, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, locations in Burlington, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. As always on Sundays, that's Greg Milakovic. I'm Tom Arnone. No Nick Delgado tonight. No Brian Wilson tonight. Happy Easter out there to everybody who celebrates. Hope you and your families had a great day. Sixers having a great day right now, and the Phillies avoid a sweep. We'll get into the Phillies later on in the show. We'll give you our crumb of the week later on in the show. Two main topics. We're giving you Sixers watch-along / live reactions here versus the Raptors in a must-win game, per se, if they still want a shot at that sixth spot. All right, we'll get into that. We'll continue that throughout the show, obviously. But our main topic at hand surrounds the big fella, surrounds the process. Joel Embiid. And our poll for tonight's show, the Sixers are still a threat in the Eastern Conference with the return of Joel Embiid. Do you agree or disagree? You can let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, that's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Hit the like, subscribe, follow, join the conversation, throw a review around. But most importantly, like we always say, comment in. Let us know what's up. How do you feel about this poll question? And when do you think Joel Embiid's going to come back? Me and Greg are going to talk about that as soon as we get through the poll question right now. And to the poll question, I absolutely agree. And there's going to be guys like Greg who probably disagree, and I'm going to lay it out to you why they're absolutely a threat. One, he looks delicious. And I'm not one to buy into how guys look, right? I'm talking about his body physique. His physique looks, okay? That's how his physique looks right now. His arms look slimmer. He looks like he lost a few pounds. He just looks good. He was playing at an elite level, obviously, before he got hurt. But look at the Miami Heat last year. Playing. Nobody gave them a chance. They end up in the Eastern Conference Finals, okay? That's where they end up, having to work through playing games. Is it ideal? No, it's not ideal. Right? There's still a chance they can get to 60. That's not done with yet, okay? Especially with him coming back, and there's still some games to be played. It's not out of the question. But with him coming back, like we scheduled, Greg, like we said, 10, 7 games, somewhere in that range, that's what we're looking at. Right? How many games exactly do we have left for the Philadelphia 76ers right now?
After today, it's 7.
After today, it's 7. So that Tuesday return, which we'll get into possibly against Oklahoma City, will give you that 7, maybe 6, which was worst case scenario. So that's setting up well for this team to play together and gel together again. All right? But they're absolutely a threat. Let's not be mistaken here. You're not getting back just a good player. You're not getting back just I got an all-star coming back. You're arguably getting the best player in basketball. There's no bigger move you could possibly make at this point of the year to upgrade a basketball team. We've seen the difference without them. Now, they've been hurt and this and that. They really haven't had their full complement of pieces. But you can see with the guard play how good they can be when he comes back. You can see it. You can sort of look with your eyeballs and say, hey, they're going to be pretty good when he comes back. Now, they beating a 1 seed. We'll get into that, right? We'll get into that when we get there. But right now, they're just as good as everybody when he's back. And anybody out there that disagrees with that and don't think they're just as good as everybody out there, maybe besides Boston, then you don't know basketball. You don't know how important he is. You can't just, we're not a threat. We were a threat before he got hurt. We just can't get out of the second round ever. Doesn't mean we're not a threat. We're still a threat. At some point, this team will get out of the second round. He was playing at an even better level this year, Greg. And I told you about the body, babe. I told you. He looks great right now. I feel no Chick-fil-A, nothing. But all jokes aside, there's no reason for me to think that they're not a threat. When you go out and have the Buddy Hield, I like what Lowry's brought, okay? You know what the bias is. Kelly Oubre been a big positive sign without Joel Embiid. Okay, and then Tyrese, you know the difference now. You can see the difference. He's still young. But when Joel's there, he's an all-star player. When Joel's not there, it's uphill sledding for the youngster right now. So I agree. The Sixers are still a threat in the Eastern Conference with the return of Joel Embiid. Absolutely agree. Let me know if you disagree. And I need reasons why. I know Greg is probably going to give me a bunch of reasons why right now. Now he's anti-Joel. Anti-Joel. He went anti-Harden, anti-Simmons. The only guy's not anti is a T-shirt he's wearing right now, which nobody can be anti of. We talk about nobody likes practice. Let's be real.
Yeah. Even coaches don't like practice, right? Like
I
got to figure out how to entertain you guys for 2 hours. Like what the hell is going on? No, this is one of those poll questions, Tommy, where like I want to be wrong, right? And deep down as a fan, I do in theory agree, right? But I'm going to disagree, and I just where we currently are, and you're right, we're not technically out of the 6th seed yet. If we were solidified in that 6th seed, I probably would agree, right? Because we're not have to go through those playing games. And you did mention the run that the Heat went on, and I think it's a really good mention. However, they weren't getting their best player back from injury right before that, right? They were there. They were a team. They just were scuffling, and they got in with a new lease on life and went away. I have no concerns over Joel Embiid. Let me make that clear. I have zero concerns over him. I have concerns of what this team is going to do around him once the playoffs hit, right? Once the pressure rises. We've seen instances where Buddy hasn't shot the ball as well as we had hoped he had, or as consistently as he has, right? Tyrese obviously is going to change his game again in the middle of a season for the return of the big fellow, right?
I think one thing real quick. One thing about the Heat. One thing. Jimmy Butler played 64 games last year. So they did not have like.
They didn't get him back just before. He came back, I would think, more than 7 games before going into the playoffs. I don't know the exact number.
Yeah, right? Me either. I just know he didn't have a full year. That's all.
I'll give you that, yes. If
I'm looking for things, Greg.
10, 15 games, I'm probably flipping that to the agree, right? Just because of the more time. But while I like the thought of Buddy Hield with Joel, he hasn't shown the consistency yet that we thought we were getting. Now, granted, again, all of that potentially changes when you get Joel back, but I wonder how taxing this last month and a half of close game losses, fighting back as hard as they have in certain times, is going to take a toll on them once they get to the playoffs.
Well, my question to you is, as a former athlete, I would say, right?
Yeah, I'm an athlete.
Like, what are you talking about right now? You're hunting for disagrees. You're talking about what it took to be close in games without the MVP of the league and losing close games. So you're saying to yourself as a group, when we get him back, we're going to finish this stuff. Right? That's what you're going to say to yourself as a group.
Mental fatigue. I'm talking the mental fatigue of getting there, but still coming up short. Right?
Bro.
That's gotta. I mean, we've all gone through the process, right? We all know what it takes to lose in this city. We watch the Phillies, we watch the Flyers, we watch the Sixers, and of course the Eagles. Outside of the most recent run, right? We know what it takes to lose in this city, and we do it really well.
But come on. You can talk about mental fatigue all you want. The second he suits up game day, the second he's back, that mental fatigue goes 6 to midnight.
I sure hope so.
You know that. You sure
hope
so. You sure hope so. It's the best player in basketball that's coming back. He makes everybody around them. He makes everybody around them better. It's like, again, it's not like you're just getting an all-star back.
What's going to happen those other 24 minutes he's not on the floor?
Those guys have proved. I think when you look at this, the best thing for this basketball team was not the best thing, right? We had to watch it. Was Mo Bamba and Paul Reed getting more minutes, right? Because you can only hope that helps them come playoff time and helps us. That's all you can hope for. But we knew this. We came into this year. What was the difference maker? It wasn't about the rest of this roster. What was going to make or break us getting past the second round? Right? If he's healthy. So we're getting that. We're getting that hand delivered, essentially. Like, you could never get an Embiid injury more hand delivered saying, hey, we're going to slice it right now. But guess what? We're going to have him back with 7 games left in the season. You're signing up for that. Saying you're going to get him healthy in the playoffs. You don't sign up for that? Because we all do, right? We all do.
But to flip that to you is, if you're in the playing game, you're the 7 or the 8 seed. And that matches up against the Bucks or the Celtics. right? So in theory, to be a threat, you have to be able to go in and beat one of those teams.
Well, we can't beat who?
And I don't know that we can't beat them right now.
We can beat Milwaukee.
Or with him back right away. I don't know.
We can beat Milwaukee. Because right there is not back right away. He's got to go win. He's got to go win. That's an aggressive game right there. That playing game's a lot of energy too. Sure. So that sort of locks you in the playoff basketball. So at that point, those playing teams get a little bit of like an early advantage if you're winning, right? And not that they're going to go beat a 1 seed, but now are we going to go beat Boston, Greg? I'm not telling you we're going to go beat Boston. I'll tell you right now, we were on the doorstep last year to beat Boston. So to say it's impossible, I'm not going to say that. Are they awesome? Yes, they're awesome. With a capital A, Dickie V, right? A capital A, they're awesome. Okay, but Milwaukee, you ain't gonna. Nobody on here, nobody in the chat is gonna tell me that I can't go into Milwaukee and beat them. And where we're at,
I would bet against them.
Yeah, we're not facing Boston. We're not going to be. We're most likely not going to be the 9-10. So you're not going to be. You're not going to be the last one. You're not going to be the 8. You're going to be the 7. You understand?
Well, if it ended right now, you'd have to beat the Heat to be the 7.
Be the 7. Well, that right there, does that not make you a contender or a threat or whatever we want to call it? If you go beat them,
the Heat even with a healthy Joel.
Well, they've been putrid. So for us to sit there and expect them to come down to earth in some fashion, I think is like crazy, you know?
Yeah.
Don't you think, or no?
Well, I mean, do you think their shooters get hot, or do you think Joel Embiid, dominates Bam, right? Because that's what it's going to come down to, right? There's Jimmy, there's Tyler Hero. Do those guys get hot from the outside, and Duncan Robinson, right? Or does Joel and Bam go one-on-one, right? Because that's going to be the game. And how does Spoelstra coach against Joel, which we know he can?
Yeah, well, yes, he can. He can for sure. We have a better coach, and they don't have that same like outside firepower that they've had in years past, in my opinion. When you talk about the Miami Heat right now, they're not as good. That's not saying that we are or anything like that. They're not as good as they were. That's all. They're just not there yet.
I don't disagree. But we start with them regardless of how good or bad they are.
No, I get it. Now, if you lose that, then you play another one, right?
Yeah, if you lose that, then you play the winner of the 8-9 match or the 9-10 matchup, which is the Bulls and the Hawks. Right. So you got to win.
So you got to win 2 games to get in.
If you're the 7-8 game, you only got to win 1.
And if you lose, then you play winner.
If you lose, then you play the winner of.
Okay. So you're still in. It's just then you got to go to Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you got to go to Boston.
Yeah. No, I see how it goes. I got it. I get the picture. Are we a threat to Boston? Yes, we are. As much as they're awesome, we're still like, they're like, now, as Image fans, it's like, who's your daddy? Like, who's your daddy? Soon we walk in. But they're not like, oh, this is easy. I mean, we took them to 7. Yeah. I know what happened in 7. Right? But we still took them there. We still were able to take them to 7. And Martian says, at least I want to see where we stack up against Boston, Milwaukee. Well, you'll find out first round if the second round was even in the question to get out of it. And Damian says, this time we have a coach and a point guard that don't quit. Yeah. No, I agree. We're better in a weird way. It just doesn't help we haven't had Joel all year, because even if we had him for 10 more games, we wouldn't be sitting in the 8th spot. That's all.
Correct.
But that's not over either. That's not over. The chances of moving up here are still available. You're 2.5 out from Indiana right now. It's not the end of the world with 7 games left, according to today. So you win today. If you can hold on to this, and we'll start talking the game as it gets into the fourth quarter here. 101-93 Sixers at the end of 3. But you win 6 out of 7. You maybe can make a run here. I don't know, but the chances are very hard. So your best chance is trying to beat out Miami. So at least that game's here.
That would be huge. Yeah, 100%.
Martian, I'm not scared of Porzingis. Yeah, I'm not scared of Porzingis. I'm not even that scared of Boston.
Okafor over him. I still draft Okafor over him.
So, Greg, when do you think he's back Joel Embiid? When is Joel Embiid back, everybody? Comment in. Let us know what you think. Greg, what do you say?
Just because I want to feel like I was right? I'm gonna say Tuesday, and not that I was the originator of the thought process, but a home game with 7 games left seems like the most logical destination for him to come back. Especially, as you said, right? You don't want to read too much into the videos, right? We've all been fooled by video talk and video gates in this city. But he did look smooth. He didn't look like there was any type of giddy up or limp in his movement from what the small sample size that we did see. Tuesday night to me, he learned how to walk. He got that 3D printed knee. And we're back to Joel. It's a primetime game Tuesday against a primetime opponent, right? No better spot to see if he and the Sixers, obviously first game, you're not going to put too much into it, but we need him back, and I think it's Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm right with you. Much as I love disagreeing with you, I can't on this one because it lines up perfectly, right? Like now they're saying they're in a ramp-up period. So I don't know exactly what that means. That would mean he's getting closer to playing. That's why he traveled. He didn't travel to play in Toronto. He traveled to work out. Be able to work out and practice with the team. So when he comes back, you're talking about another practice tomorrow and a game on Tuesday. I don't see how he doesn't play. And if he does, I would say it's probably like a 20-minute, right? 20, 25-minute run. Again, that's 20 points even off the injury. Let's be real here. Like when this guy's came back from injuries, it hasn't been a problem with him scoring the basketball. Just to riddle the world that right now. When you're that great at something, it's not. He's used to this. He's used to it. If anybody's used to like how you come back, it's Joel Embiid. And listen, the way things end, Greg, we've had these talks. I'm not always right. I'm not always right about those feelings, right? But when you go back to the Nick Foles and all that. It happens when you least expect it. And this team is like dead in the water to this fan base and to the national media. And it's like the Dark Knight Rises. Right? Where did he come from? Where did 35 a night come from? He just walk. You ain't getting like 20 back. It's like, it's great to get like Maxey back that helps you, right? Or get the bias or anybody who can score, right? Cool. You're getting 35 a night back.
Yeah.
You're getting a point a minute. I don't know. Is there anybody in basketball that literally averages a point a minute? There isn't. It's him.
Not right now.
It's him. That's how efficient he is. Injury, no injury, coming back from one. It doesn't matter. Playing with a broken face, whatever the cases may be, he always had his production. I can't wait for Tuesday night. When Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid walk out of the tunnel together. Oh, baby, am I going to be rock hard. Woo! Woo! Somebody take my calls tonight. Honey, I'm coming home.
Honey, put the kid to bed early.
What is Stu Vision? What's up, brother? He's a member too.
Awesome.
Thanks, brother. If he's in for 20 minutes and he's getting 25, at least book it.
Yeah.
ASMR. What's up, brother? So what's up, fam?
Buddy.
And KZ chimes in. He's glad he can walk. So, KZ's been through a lot with this.
It's the little things, right, KZ? I love it.
KZ been on Google too much. All right, we got a 106-95 basketball game here.
So I got a question for you.
Go ahead. Shoot away.
Who on the Sixers does Grady Dick change jerseys with after? There's some interesting potential here. You can go campaign.
Dick Payne.
You can go Mo Bamba.
Nah, it's the Dick Payne.
I think it's Dick Payne too, right?
That's the leader in the clubhouse, yeah.
I think so.
Or Dick Maxey.
Yeah, well, he's not playing, so he wouldn't have a jersey.
Oh, it was Grady Dick's on Toronto. That's right.
Yeah, Grady Dick's on Toronto.
Get on the floor, Cam. Campaign laying out.
Who's your pick, fam?
Yeah, I'm going with pick one there.
Yeah, I like it. Dick Payne.
Yeah, Dick Payne. I mean, it's just trying to think. There's nothing else that really. There's nothing else.
I mean, Reed Dick might might do something for somebody.
So this is the second time this has been asked. And granted, this is a Sixers stream. I get it. And anybody that's not Eagles fans, I apologize for taking a minute to answer this. I'm good with it. Like, was it something I was trying to do? Absolutely not, right? Absolutely not. That's a lot of production. But I'm also a realist, man. Where some people get the green colored goggles on and they can't see past it. You're talking about 2.5 sacks in 8 games at the end of the year. So, and you want $25 million a year? The league just showed you his value. Mm-hmm. The league showed it back to you. So, listen, as much as I love Hassan Reddick, and we're young there, though, right? That's the one position. We are young. So, they got to play young players. It is what it is. I don't love it. But, listen, at least they didn't lose both of them. At least they didn't lose Sweat and Reddick. The fact that one's back is a win for this basketball team, and the younger one's back. I mean, he's 30 years old. So there's my rant. There's my rant on Hassan Reddick. I love Hassan. Greg knows. I said before I would love to have him back. The more the merrier. But I'm also never paying him $25 million a year. Because, again, 2.5 sacks in 8 games makes it hard for you to come into my office asking for $25 million, too, if I'm Howie Roseman. So way to hold firm, Howie. I agree with you on this one. I agree with him.
Yeah, and I'll just real quick double stamp you're great because would I've liked to keep him and then we'll have him play out the contract and take the compensatory pick at the end, but there was no guarantee that he was going to do that, right? He obviously brought it up. He wanted a trade. He asked for the trade, so we got rid of him. I'm not losing sleep over it. To your point, do we now have to lean on Bryce Huff, Nolan Smith, Josh Sweat, right? Do we now have to lean on those guys even more? Yes. But hey, that's defenses in the NFL are going to be obsolete here in a couple of years, the way we keep moving these rules and making new rules and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Mike Hayes says thoughts on Noel's poor performance. We'll talk about the Phillies at the end of the show, Mike, so don't go anywhere. All right, we'll get into all that. We'll get into the Phillies slow starts. That's what they do. 106-97 Sixers here. We're coming up about 8:40 to play. And give you a little, also love to give you a little box score too. So I'll break that down for everybody as well. But there's a team that's in desperate need for a win.
Yeah.
They're in desperation mode. Wow, what a shot. I can't believe that.
Losers are 3 in a row.
Yeah.
5 of their last 6. So yeah, to say we need a win, especially with the prospects of Joel coming back, is monumental.
Oubre, another buck. He's got 32 tonight, Greg. 32 for Kelly Oubre with no Tyrese Maxey tonight.
No ref either.
Tobias Harris, 14 points. And your second leading scorer is Nicholas Batum with 16. Buddy Hield, 5 for 7, 3 from 5 from 3, 13 points. So that's really good job for Buddy Hield there. That's what you're like asking for when you get the big fella back too. You know, you're going 3 for 5 from 3. That's a win.
Yes.
Absolute win. But Tobias 5 for 10.
Tobias is not up there on the score chart, though.
I mean, he has 7 boards. He has 2 blocks. He's 5 for 10 from the field. So it's not like it's a bad game. He didn't hit any threes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's shooting 50% from the field. I'm not.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And it's the second time we brought him up on the show, right? And that's another guy, right? Like when I look at disagreeing, if I'm agreeing, I'm seeing a more stable and consistent Tobias Harris over the stretch, right? I'm not saying like superstar. I'm saying consistent, right? We all know that roller coaster that we go on with Tobias, right? But through this stretch, I would have liked to see a more consistent, even if it's only 15 a game. But give me that 15. Don't give me the 2 and then the 35, right? Then the 4, and I think that inconsistency, until it's answered, is going to be tough for them to get over.
No, I mean, it will. But, I think they have enough firepower around, especially when you get, like I said, 35 a night back.
Yeah,
Lowry from 3. Got it. Got it. Kyle Lowry from 3.
Back in the old stomping grounds.
114-99 Sixers. Like we're talking about must win, not only if you're trying to host that 7-8 spot in the playing game, but if you want aspirations of getting in that 6 spot, you better win 7 in a row. Or at least 6 out of 7.
Yeah.
I just think
and the schedule sets up to do that, though, right? That's the
what does it set up for Indiana, Greg? That's the question. The Indiana schedule is the schedule that's going to get us here.
Yeah. So let me pull that up. So we got our schedule, though, is we got Oklahoma City and then Miami. Oklahoma City at home, Miami, Memphis, San Antonio on the road. Memphis, San Antonio is a back-to-back. You'd have to assume Joel's not playing a back-to-back. Right? And then we come home to end the season, Detroit, Orlando, Brooklyn. No back-to-backs in there. Days off. There's actually 2 days off between Detroit and Orlando, and then 1 day between Brooklyn or Orlando and Brooklyn. What the Pacers have coming up, they have tomorrow. They have a home and home with Brooklyn starting tomorrow. And then they also face Oklahoma and Miami. They have them at home, though. Both of those at home. At Toronto, at Cleveland, home versus Atlanta to end the season.
No, yeah, Greg, we have 7 games after tonight.
Yes.
I know we
and
said
they have
earlier
7
on
as well.
Yeah, I know we said earlier on that we had 7, including tonight, but it's 7 after tonight. So tonight's the big one because we talked about that 7. If you can go 6 and 7, 6 and 1, do that stretch, you have a really good chance. Yeah, Wilson's right. Brian Wilson used to be a host on A2D Radio, not anymore, as we can see. But yeah, you can't blow this one, Wilson.
Used to be one of the guys on the show, but I haven't seen him in a while.
Mike, yeah, the Flyers, absolutely. Their young players would benefit from getting playoff experience. Too biased, Martian says. What are you talking about? You talking about Diddy? What are you talking about, Martian? I think so too, Willis. He says, I think if went healthy, we can play with anybody in the East. I would have to agree with that. Like, you know me, Greg. I was a big advocate on some of these moves they made.
Yeah,
it just wasn't going to. It's just not going to show without Embiid. Like that, I think like what you added will absolutely show with you when he gets back. I think you get. I'm not crowning Buddy Hield. I'm not crowning Kyle Lowry.
I get your premise, though. Yeah, for sure.
It's just you're better. You're just going to be better. How much better? I don't know, but you're definitely going to be better. I mean, Lowry today, he's 4 for 6. He's 3 for 5 from 3. I mean, come on. That's more production than Pat Bev was going to give us. And he looks to be a little fresher. He looks to be like, okay. Now, would I count on Pat Bev on back-to-backs? I mean, Kyle Lowry on back-to-backs? No. But in playoffs, it's not back-to-back. So, can he come in and give me 10 points in his minutes and play good D and be physical? Like, that's a win. But they got to win this game. They're up 15 right now. Toronto's got the ball coming up on 7 minutes to go. Kelly Olynyk with the easy one. Up 13. Don says, how deep you going in rotation in the playoffs? I don't know yet, Don. I think it depends on who's healthy right now. But I'd say they probably go 9. They probably go a good 9. They got the talent too. Campaign with a 3. It's a big one. 117-101 Sixers.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little stretched out more. I mean, we always tried to talk about this with Doc, right? Oh, Doc's going to strengthen the playoffs. It almost feels like that they treat the playoffs almost like a regular season game. It's just you're playing the same opponent every night, right? Because you're going to see Tommy. You're going to see the 8 and 9 rotation, especially with Joel Embiid being hurt or coming off of an injury. He's not going to play the 48 minutes. In the playoffs, he's probably playing 35, right? 30, 35. But you're going to need a combination of Reed and Mamba that may make that rotation if he's healthy fully.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But those guys will again be fine when you're talking about 15 minutes, maybe. 15 minutes a night. That's fine for either one of them, depending on like what the matchup is. KZ said, do you guys really think they have any chance against the top 6 teams in the East? And B will not be fully healthy this season. Well, KZ, he is fully healthy now. Like, what are we talking about? He is fully healthy now. He's going to be fully healthy. What are we talking about? Yes, they have a chance against the top 6 in the East for sure. Absolutely. That was the poll question. Well, are they a threat? And I think they're a threat. Greg doesn't think so, and that's fine. KZ doesn't think so either. What do you guys say out there that are just joining us? We're watching the game live with you here and we're talking about Joel Embiid's return. The Sixers are still a threat in the Eastern Conference with the return of Joel Embiid. Agree or disagree? Still let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, that's where we're live. But once he figures out and uses his new leg, like Will says, he'll be fine. Tristan, what's up, baby? He said, my fam. What's up, brother? So the Sixers up 119-108. Toronto, like Toronto does. Good, bad, or indifferent. They just do not seem to go away whenever we play.
Don't go away. Yeah.
Never.
It's
go
amazing.
away.
It's amazing. It truly is. But it's the NBA, right? Like NBA loves making games close.
Oh, everything's close. Yep. Not everything, but you get where I was going with that.
Yeah.
And Don, stop. He said he thinks the Hawks knocked the Sixers out in the playing game. I mean, yeah, Mike Hayes, Kelsey should get a statue in front of the link. I mean, goodness gracious. They gave one to Doug and Bowles. That's the least they can do.
Yeah.
But some guys who stepped up tonight, we talked about Oubre with 32. Campaign's got 18. Batum's got 16. Tobias 14. And Lowry has 11. And Hield has 13. So really spread it.
Nice balance. Yeah.
Paul Reed has 9. Paul Reed has 9 and a block. And Bamba has 4, a block, a steal. Only 4 boards for him. And Reed only has 2 boards. But
that's
Tobias
uncharacteristic.
Tobias has 7 and Batum has 5. So they're your leading rebounders. And Kyle Lowry, to my point earlier, 10 dimes, Greg.
There you go.
So a double-double.
Yeah.
A block and a steal. Somehow he has a block.
Returning home.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure he can jump that high to block somebody's shot, but somehow
I know Wills hits those block parlays all the time, or the steal parlay, but it's amazing who ends up getting in the box score for blocks, right? Like it's considered a block in the NBA. It's just stuff that you don't assume would be a block turns into block somehow.
Yeah. Martian wouldn't be the first time the Hawks sent us home. Let's not do that again, Martian.
Oh, come on, Martian. Too soon.
I think we have enough guys here that are willing to shoot this time. So I think we're good. If you're just joining us, hit the like, subscribe, follow, join the conversation, turn your alerts on. This is Agree to Disagree, HUD Radio, talking Joel Embiid's return, Sixers watch party, and we'll get into some Phillies at the end of the show as well to wrap it up. So stay with us, comment in, let us know where you're tuning in from, and how do you feel about this team? Is this team a threat in the Eastern Conference with the return of Joel Embiid? Again, Greg disagrees with that. And that's his opinion. And I say that because it's what Agree Disagree is about. It's about opinions. I don't know how they're not. Now, again, what does that threat mean? Does it mean like they could take you to 7? Yeah, I think they could take anybody to 7. Are they going to get out of the second round this year? I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. But I think things happen in a weird way. I think this would be the year that like that little air quote curse is broken. And I say that even more because of how many 1-year deals there are.
Yeah. There's literally no one back.
Yeah, it would happen like that to us. Like we're like, well, what do we do? Like, can we run it back? We went to an Eastern Conference final and we lost. So we run it back, right? And then you're in a tough spot.
How can you run it back? Right? Yeah. How can you run it back?
Toby for 3, right on.
Let's go. Right on cue.
Yep. 17.
Trash the guy.
Well, 1-3. Now he has a good night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now he's 6 for 11 with 17. He didn't make any of his first 2 threes. But no, I mean, I think they're right there. I think they're better than they were before. And I think that's going to show when they get that opportunity, this coming Tuesday, hopefully, and the return of Joel Embiid, where they can show how dangerous they're going to be when they're fully assembled. Now, listen, it might not happen where they go win the first 2 or 3 games back with them. I don't know, right? But it's going to click over 5-7 games. That's going to click in. I think by the time the playing game gets here or the first round of the playoffs get here, they're going to be ready to play, and they're going to be clicking on all cylinders. I really believe that. I do. Because just the practice alone with him back's important.
Practice?
Well, that's important.
Practice?
Oubre for
no,
3.
It is.
Hit Buffalo.
And to have a break in the schedule, too, to where you're able to have a couple full team practices as well, right? We know, we watched, enough NBA. We know enough that this time of the year, you don't get very many full team practices going on. But to be able to get one with your full team this time of the year while trying to work your best player back is monumental.
Oh, for sure. And what, Casey, you're saying these guys, what terrible players do we have? So Maxey's terrible, Oubre's terrible, Tobias is terrible. You want to keep going on? Batum's terrible, Lowry's terrible, Payne's terrible. All those guys are terrible? No, not terrible. They're not carriers, which they don't have to be when you have a carrier. That's the point. And you put everybody in their roles. 122, 111, 3 minutes to go.
No, come on. Close this out.
But a bucket here makes it a game. And did we get a foul? No, we do not. That is out of bounds. Still Toronto's ball. Oubre's missed 2 threes after my crown party. One hit Buffalo, and the other one just missed. Yeah, Tristan gets it, Tris. That's why me and you are family, babe, because you get it. This is common sense. Embiid back is like making a huge trade before the playoffs. Absolutely. And not just a huge one. You're arguably getting the best player in the game, Gary Trent, for 3. Stop me if you heard that one before. 122, 114. We are officially in a ball game coming up on 3 minutes to go. Timeout Sixers. But it all starts in terms of not your being a threat in the playoffs, but in terms of trying not to be in the play-in. It starts tonight. It started tonight 100%. Where you get Toronto. I don't care if Maxey's playing or not. That's still a game you should go win.
You got to win that.
Absolutely.
And it was weird. Maxey was a late scratch, and I guess he just couldn't get loose because they called it a left hip tightness is what they're classifying it as.
Dude, Casey, you were out of your damn mind. Embiid isn't going to have enough help. Lowry stinks. So you brought up 2 guys that don't matter. Really, essentially, you brought up 2 role players, Lowry and Bamba. It doesn't even matter in this conversation. And you say Maxey is bad against good competition. That's not true. Tobias is going to mellow to Ben Simmons. Tobias has been our best player in the postseason, so you're wrong there again. And then what are you going to tell me? Buddy Hield isn't a good player? They're not good players around him. Nicholas Batum isn't a good winning type player. Come on, just be fair, dude. You brought up the 2 of the first guys you mentioned. Really, Larry's better than you give him credit for. He's just old. But don't tell me he's not a gamer. Because you're going to be the first one. You're going to be the first one in this chat crowning his ass if he hits a big 3 for us. You'll be the first one I told you he's better than Bev. Come on, Casey. I love you, but stop.
And you have to think that you're going to get a different Kyle Lowry once the playoffs hits, right? That's why, in theory, you went out and got him, right? Is for his playoff acumen, for his playoff experience. That's what you do.
3-ball campaign.
Obviously wasn't a huge campaign. Kyle Lowry of the deal, but he's better than what we have right now.
Well, you got Kyle Lowry and campaign, Greg, for Pat Bev.
Yeah.
Right? If you think about it, right? That's what you got back in return of guard play. One has 11 and 10 dimes, and one has 21, 8 for 14 shooting. So is that a good return for Pat Bev and second-round picks?
Yeah.
I would say so.
I would think so.
I would say I got more scoring out of that, which is what this team needed even with Embiid. They needed more scoring. They upgraded their scoring at the deadline. And we're not even talking about Buddy Hield. They didn't get rid of anything. What did they get rid of? What scoring did they get rid of? Marcus Morris isn't the same scorer he was. Come on. Buddy Hield's a better scorer than Marcus Morris is on a consistent night in, night out basis. And I love Morris. Okay, but let's call this how it is. I mean, Daryl Morey had a good deadline, and I'm not even a Daryl Morey guy like that. He had a good deadline. I call things how I think they are. They upgraded their team, but 2 for 3. Got it. Nobody around nobody. Nobody. Needed this one. Looks like we're going to hold on for it. Batum with 16, 4 for 5 from 3. And a miss from the Raptors.
Just jumped
Here
up.
we go.
That's huge. It's huge.
Everybody can start clapping their hands now. For a double.
Your hand, everybody.
So 23 3-pointers made tonight for the Philadelphia 76ers. That ties their franchise. Oh! And it ties their franchise record. Payne just toilet bowled one. Tobias dunked it back in. 23 threes ties their franchise record.
Wow.
So I would think their spacing will be a little bit better. Now they're playing Toronto Raptors. I get it. Okay. But their spacing will be good.
No, you say, but you got to win the game that's in front of you.
Yeah.
You got to win the game that's in front of you. This is the NBA. Like, we've lost games like this, right?
They can't beat anybody.
You know, we couldn't beat the Brooklyn Nets, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, we lose games like this. So you can't just say, oh, we're just playing the Toronto Raptors. It's not like we're playing Alabama Crimson Tide. Oh, yeah, you should win that game. Well, yeah, because they're college, right? You know what I mean? Like, they're the NBA. Everyone's getting paid, and it's all the same.
No, it is all the same. But that being said, this is an important win.
Big win.
Like you said, winning going into it is just like important because, for a bunch of reasons, right? Like you want to be playing winning basketball.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Going into the dance. You don't want to be downright terrible going in.
Yeah.
That doesn't make anybody feel good. Nor should it. Right? Nor should it.
Oh, I just saw the Tobias putback. He gave a little hip thrust to the dude's back of the head.
Did he give a little thrust?
He did give a little thrust. I liked it. It's like those guys are trashing me again. I can't win with those guys.
I mean, he ended up like we talked, you talked your trash, and rightfully so. And then he ends up with 19 right now?
He ends up where we want him to be.
Around 19. So he ends up getting close to his numbers. And again, he has 21, but on 13 shots. I mean, that's a super efficient game. And 9
100%.
boards. Yeah. 9 boards. If he gives me that every night, I'm winning a lot of basketball games. Now, Oubre, 10 for 22. I mean, 6 for 11 from 3. Payne for the record. Got it. Campaign for 3. The Sixers break their franchise record for threes in a game. 24 of them. 24 threes.
He's on fire.
Man, that's impressive.
That's impressive.
No matter who you're playing. 135, 120, or under.
I must have the Raptors feed because they're showing Raptors fans like dancing in the stands. I'm like, huh?
Well, they're still dancing from that roll back in the day, rightfully so.
That's true. It's true.
Because I still feel the pain from it.
still a PTSD from those ball taps.
Well, every time a ball goes in like that, I have the same feeling. I wonder if Toronto tries to score here at the end of it. Embiid's got a new do too. Like he just looks like he's about to have the greatest comeback of the 21st century.
Don't call it a comeback.
Big win.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of 3 balls.
It is a lot. But and it's almost one of those like, well done today, right? Like when you need it the most. When you're missing Joel, obviously, you're missing Maxey last minute. How do you differentiate yourself on the road? Well, you go out and you hit a franchise record in 3-pointers.
Right.
And that's what they did. And it's awesome. It's a big win right there. Humongous win. Now Joel comes back with a little juice, right? You get a little juice from the big fella. He comes back.
So are you back now?
Off a win. I'm not fully back yet. But this win does keep me invested. I'll definitely watch on Tuesday, when he comes back, as opposed to putting it on the back burner.
Now you're back, and you are back. Because you never left.
I want to be wrong. right? As I mentioned, I want to be wrong about the poll question. And I hope I am. I hope I'm wrong about everything, right? Obviously, Kyle Lowry has proven me wrong on his addition for the team at the deadline, and I hope it continues.
That was like that's the one I feel like I was like right about right now, and I can't believe I was. But I just like the toughness of him. There was nothing more than that, right?
100%.
It wasn't like oh, he's the same player he was when he was 30. No, there's none of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's none of that. There's none of that at all. It's just, I think he brings you. We talk about toughness and just a vet. I think he brings you some of that leadership that can't hurt.
Yeah.
Right? Can never hurt to have. So, I mean, again, I don't know what Pat Bev did that was like so great offensively. Matt says, so Tuesday he's playing. I think there's a really good chance. Me and Greg both think that's when the return happens at Joel Embiid. Now, we got to wait and find out, obviously, but that looks what it looks to be trending towards. Now, could it be after that? What's the next game? Thursday?
Tuesday, Thursday. But it'd be, again, Thursday's possibility, but that's on the road, right? Do you want to bring your best player back on the road? Obviously, we only have so many limited chances. So if Tuesday doesn't happen, yeah, kick the can down the road to Thursday against Miami.
Which is obviously a really important game, too.
Yeah.
So the previous mark was 23, was set on April 3rd, 2022.
Nice. Not that long ago. We already breaking records.
Yeah. It's a lot of threes. Well, you got to take them to make them. And they are not, without Embiid, they're not shy about the three ball at all.
They're definitely not shy.
Nor should they have been.
No one in today's NBA is shy about taking threes.
Yeah, nor should they be at this point.
Yeah.
Without him. You make him, you win. You don't, you lose.
Yeah. It's the reality.
KZ, we're not hyped about the win. We're trying to.
We are hyped about the win.
Well, yeah, we are
hyped about the win. It's a win in the NBA.
We're not trying to be in the playing games, KZ. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with us not wanting to be in the playing games?
I don't know what's wrong with winning in the NBA. It's not easy to do. Especially when you're missing your best two players. I don't care who you're playing.
Yeah, that matters. You are missing your best two players. But that doesn't matter to
knew of. The other one was a late game time stretch. I'm going to throw all of the pregame coaching out the door, right? Out the window. Gone. Because you're planning on Tyrese being there, and now he's not.
Yeah, Sixers are 2 games back of Indiana now for the 6th spot, and they are a game and a half back from Miami for the 7. So that's where they stand right now. All right, so that's where they line up at. So that's not bad. They're still in striking distance. 7 games to go. It's not ideal. You would like to be a little less. You would like to be a game and a half out of that. Try to make you feel a little bit better, but 2.5 is not. It's not impossible. Or 2, sorry, full 2 games is definitely not impossible. And they have exactly the same amount of games left as well.
Right.
They have 7. They have 7, and Miami has 6. So Miami has 1 less game. Or sorry, Miami has 8 left. They're probably playing today. They're probably playing tonight. Is my guess. They play. They're live right now versus the Wizards. So
they beat the Wizards today. They just went on a 119-107. They beat the Wizards. Clippers beat the Hornets 130-118. Lakers beat the Nets 116-104. Nuggets beat the Cavs 130-101. Currently in play, we got Thunder up on the Knicks 50-49. Midway, we're just starting the third quarter. Mavericks over the Rockets 77-53 halfway through the third. And Bulls 77-67 over the Timberwolves midway through the third. Warriors and Spurs 61-60 Warriors midway through the third. Jazz Kings later on tonight.
Miami's won 2 in a row. Their next game is versus the Knicks on Tuesday. So you got Knicks, Sixers, Rockets. They play the Pacers. Okay. So that's interesting. Yeah, they play the Pacers, which somebody's going to lose that game. Hawks, Mavs, Raptors. That's how they play out. So that's Miami's. That's
close to ours, right? I mean, Hawks, Mavs, Raptors. That's like Memphis, Brooklyn, Detroit, San Antonio, right?
Yeah, like I said, KZ. I think
the sprinkle of Orlando in there.
Yep, KZ. You have to win. You have to go like 6-1 in this next stretch, including
put yourself
today,
in a position.
Yeah, including today, you need to go 7-1. Where I'll give you one loss somewhere. Preferably, if you win out, you're going to be that 6th spot because they're going to lose. They've both been like 6-4 in their last 10, so you can pretty much guarantee they're probably going to lose 2 games. You would think. Now I don't know tiebreakers. I don't know all that, so that's where it gets tricky.
If you're getting crazy and talking now, I mean, Orlando's only a game and a half on the pace, right? And we play Orlando. So, I mean, if you're talking crazy and in and out, I don't think us being only 3.5 back of Orlando for the 5, I don't think that throws you out of that if you're talking winning out.
Yeah, you're in. Listen, everything's up for grabs right now. Everything is. All right, 9 minutes left in the show. We'll finish it off. Phillies avoid this sweep today of the Braves. Phillies continue to get off the slow starts, but was able to salvage one today because today against your division rival is important. The difference of 3 games back and a game, like if you just look at it on that aspect, is big. So to make sure you got one out of this disgrace of a start that was those first 2 games is good news. You know, the next month you have a really favorable schedule, and it would really be nice for this baseball team to end the month with a winning record. Maybe a few games over 500 would be enjoyable, if not more. So I think today's win was important, especially when like nobody played per se, especially talking about your lefties. So good win today for the Phillies. Now it's time to turn it on a notch here and start winning some series to start the season.
That'd be nice. We got the Reds and Nats coming up. I got the Reds in Philly starting tomorrow, and then we head to the Nats for the weekend series.
Yeah, unless the Reds are better.
Start, but the Reds are definitely better. But I think they lost 2 or 3 to the Nationals at home. Right? I don't know what I think they were down last time I checked today, so I don't know what they ended up, but
they're not world beaters. They're just better.
Right.
Right. I mean, we need to pitch better. You know, I'm not even going to talk about hitting yet because I can't even put it on the offense when you get tattooed like you have.
Yeah.
Today to string 4 straight singles together after Rojas hustles and beats out a double play. That's big time stuff. Alec Bohm gets the bloop single to essentially win it. So it's big. It's big. He's been swinging the bat well to start. So there's been some positives offensively. It's just really about this pitching staff, and it seems to be the problem last year too to start the season. So nothing new with the Phillies in terms of that, which is crazy, which is insane. Like, you know, it's not like they're trying to get off the bad starts either. Some teams are just built that way. They're slow starters. Now you can't win something early, but you can sure as hell lose it, like we've talked about. You don't want to find yourself like out of it like a month and a half into the year, like in terms of your division and other things. That's why today was so important. You can't get swept by them. Like if they come take 2 out of 3, okay. But when you look at it, they demolished you the first 2 games. So for you to steal a game when they outplayed you essentially its entire series, they outplayed you. They absolutely outplayed us, and they can leave the series a game up. So they didn't get as much as it felt. That's the key. I know it's 3 games in. It doesn't matter. But that's the key to treading that water early, per se. Not even treading water, but like the ability to come out of this month, 5 games over 500. It's a big difference than being under 500 or playing 500 ball. It's a big difference. You can't get swept today.
It's a big difference in the division too, right? Like you said, being 3 games back or being 1 game back is a huge difference when you talk about the division race. Right? You can't win anything in April, but you can sure lose the division, right? We've battled April and May the last few years, and what has happened? The Braves have always been multiple games up on us early in the division, not necessarily us individually, right? But on the division because of our starts. Now you kind of salvage that in the opening series. Now we can hopefully start to get some rhythm, start to get some things going our way.
Yeah, and listen, it's not like getting swept in Texas is different than getting swept at home to your division rivals. Okay, it's a big difference mentally. It's a mental game. So to be able to survive that, right, and uplift you leaving the series, right? Like it's one thing you lose 2 out of 3, right, and game 3 ends up being like yesterday. You're leaving that series not feeling good about yourself. At least you can leave the series feeling like you salvaged something in a series, like I said, where you got outplayed. So that's a win for the Phils. And then you got Cincinnati coming into town. That should be 2 out of 3 minimum. 2 out of 3. See you later. And you need to go to Washington and sweep them. And that's how you get yourself off to a really good start. And you can feel better about yourself. You don't have to go be playing 900 baseball. You don't have to have a 900 winning percentage, and be doing that kind of stuff. That if you want to get off you want to get off that starts. I'm not against it. I prefer my team to always play their best in the second half of the year. That doesn't mean you can't be like 15 games over 500 going into the second half of the year. Then you get hot as a pistol, and then you know what I mean? Everybody can kiss your ass, right? Because they're coming from behind you. Yeah. 3 years ago, we swept the Braves first series. They still won the division easy. Yeah, this doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. None of it matters, like early on. It just doesn't. But again, you sure as hell don't want to get swept by them. That's the one thing. You just don't want to. It's just not ideal. But listen, we'll see how this season goes on. I mean, I know a lot of people are worried about the pitching. I'm not even going to worry about Nola yet or this bullpen. I'm not going to overreact to any of that yet. You got to let it sort of play out. Get guys going a little, and we'll see where we end up. You got a ton of people watching right now. Hit the like, subscribe, follow whatever platform you're watching us on, and YouTube. We're close to 10K, baby. Get us over there.
Oh, please get us over. Yeah, we got 30 people. We got 30 people over on YouTube. Get us, and we only got 15 likes. Let's go.
Come on, everybody on YouTube, pound the like. Fuck with an algorithm before we get out of here. Let's go. Get everybody over here. Come on, people. You're better than that over on YouTube. You guys always have been. Now I don't know what's going on. And on the poll question, 55% believe, as of right now, the Sixers are still a threat in the Eastern Conference with the return of Joel Embiid. So, all right. More people agree with me than Greg.
Not shocking.
Mr. Rudy Poo, you're running it back with a really good team. Like, you're not just running it back with a middle-of-the-road team. You're running it back with a World Series contender. Like, you know what I mean? That actually got a better addition last year in Trey Turner. Like, I don't like losing Reese, but you didn't have Reese last year either. So, again, I don't have a problem with them. When you run it back with a good team, it's different. It's different. That's all. Minute left. Yeah, Tristan, you're right. Wheels is a stud. Don says Bohm looked good.
He does.
So far. Mr. Rudy PCs, I see the 2024 Phillies having a 2023 Cardinals season. I completely disagree with that. I don't know where you get that. This team's too talented. Well, we get out on teams like we get the biggest marathon in sports. We're out. At their first series, Mr.
One.
Rudy.
Weekend one, we're out.
Rudy, good team. They're not good enough. Okay.
Miss Rudy P, were you on that Fox broadcast last night? Because They sure didn't think very good, and we didn't very well. So not much to go off of, but we're definitely a little better than I think we're giving credit for right now.
Yeah, I mean, you can't even do this. Come on, we're a good baseball team. I think we're a damn good baseball team. We're World Series contenders in the NL, and anybody who doesn't think that, hasn't paid attention to the team the last 2 years. He says we're overrated. All right, well, time's going to tell. Robin Chow says with Rudy Poo. Oh, he's talking about don't want to face the Heat. The Heat can come see me, Robin. I'm not scared of the Heat. John says they're a wild card team. Maybe, but what does that?
It's been a wild card team the last 2 years, so okay.
What does that seem to matter? That's still a World Series contender, correct? Like, dude, I'll smoke this team. Guys, Greg knows I will smoke dudes. I got no problem smoking baseball dudes. I got no issue doing it, or anybody. But come on, they act like this team isn't a legit World Series contender. And like, you don't need splashes to be a World Series contender. They made their splashes. Sometimes the best thing for chemistry in your team is just keeping your core together. It's important.
Yeah.
Who's on this cup? JT.
Just missed one today. I was hoping he had it.
Yeah, he did. He just got under it a little bit.
Yeah.
Robin said, I just love Joel and I'm worried and sad. He's worried of the Heat? Don't be. Don't be yet. We're good. We are good. Well, yeah, I mean, the D-back series really messed his fan base up, but it's a new year. Yeah, no, rightfully so, right? It's an epic collapse. But
yeah,
it says a lot about your organization when they believe in the guys that are here that they can overcome that. This group's overcame a lot. Let's be fair, too. They can't overcome a firing of a manager, which is a lot to go through in a year. They were resilient with that. What have they not been resilient with since they really started winning? Nothing. They've been a pretty resilient group. They just weren't resilient at the end of last year. Doesn't mean they can't respond this year and show that resiliency again.
And the way last year started, right? The spring training game or second of the spring training game, you lose Rhys Hoskins, right? And you don't have to be the biggest fan of Rhys Hoskins to understand his importance to that team. And then the shift, because you're already missing Bryce to start the year. It's the shift then to put Derek Hall at first base and regular bats is a complete shift in mentality for a team that was hoping to get off to a good start. And then you lose one of your biggest locker room guys right off the jump.
Yep. Well, the back end of the bullpen, I think, will be fine. Alvarado was really good today. Soto came in and got a big out. So, I mean, there's the talent back there, Mr. Rudy. Lefty bench bat. We don't need any more lefties. Reliever. Yeah. I mean, you could always use more relievers. They're hoping Orion is that guy when he gets back from his rehab assignment. And a real closer. I mean, they have a real closer. It's Alvarado. It's Hoffman. I mean, it could even be Soto at times. You know, the only guy they're probably not sold on right now would be Sir Anthony, and rightfully so. All right, he hasn't been good enough to start the year, but come on. I mean, you guys are really, really grasping at straws here when you're talking about bullpens around Major League Baseball, too. You go show me all those lights out pens that are that much better than ours. I'll wait. I mean, I'll sit around and wait for that. So I just think we're really fucking overreacting right now. And I love dicing cats up, but goodness gracious. You know, I got no problem dicing after a month because I'll be the first dicer. Not even a month. You give me 2 weeks of bad baseball, I'll have a lot to say. You give me a full week of bad baseball, I'll have some things to say too. But come on. Come on, guys. Let's slow down. All right, hit the like, subscribe. We're on our way out of here. It's been agree, disagree. Hopefully we get Joel Embiid back this Tuesday. Phillies open up a series against Cincinnati tomorrow night. I know this weather up here is going to be shitty all week. Beginning of April in the north. That's what you got to expect, but we'll see how many of these games they even get in. Yeah, and Tristan, you're right. We got to enjoy the Phillies ride this year. We got Barkley and Green. Let's go. Will says, guys, it's not April yet. Calm down. Essentially, it's not. Close, but not there. Yeah, John, there's definitely going to be some postponed games. All right, that's Greg Milwakovic. I'm Tom Arnone. We love you.
Love you guys.
We appreciate everybody who tuned in. On your way out, we ask you nicely. Not asking for money. We're asking for a like, subscribe, a follow, turn your damn alerts on, and let's go. This has been Agree to Disagree, only on HUD Radio. We'll see you next Sunday night. We'll be on late night next Sunday, and me and Greg will see you again on HUD Wednesday nights. You got Eagles Talk on HUD tomorrow night, 9 p.m., followed by Flyers Talk on HUD Tuesday night, 9 p.m., and we'll see you on HUD Wednesday nights, 10:15. And then Thursday, you got Vetted with Irvin and Hollis, and that's 8:15 Eastern. So, and then In This Very Ring Friday, and the final whistle. There's your list. We love you. We appreciate you. Go Sixers. Go Phils.
Let's do it. Let's go Flyers.